And we are live. GG's live coverage of GP Columbus 2012. Lucas Siow on your left, Jacob Maynard on your right, and we are ready for this best of three finals. Looks like both players have kept their opening hands. There's an interesting.
Yeah, a basic island. By the way, I'm Marshall Sutcliffe, and you're Sheldon Menery.
Did I not say that coming in?
No.
That's indeed.
I mean, I know who you are.
Right. I hope by now that there's a good shot of Lucas Siow.
You can see Pro Tour champion Alexander Hayne in the background there too,
discussing some. Well, there's something on a smartphone. There's Jacob Maynard and his fan club.
Whoa. Okay, so we went away for half a second, and all of a sudden the thing just exploded. So he went ornithopter, springleaf drum, ornithopter, springleaf drum, make a vault scourge, not have to pay any life. Now, he's playing, as you can see, an artifact, aggro, robots, affinity, whatever you want to call a list that is looking to get off to a quick start. It kind of did here. It's going to need some help, though. He's really only put one power on the table, so it's not that big of a thing. Now, on the left side, we have Lucas Siow. He's playing Rug Delver. My personal favorite deck in the format. We've been talking about it all weekend. I know I have. And he has kept a hand that looks like it needs a little bit of help. He's Serum Vision twice. His ideal draw puts out a Delver of Secrets on turn one and protects it and rides it to victory, backing it up with some beef with a Tarmogoyf. Ooh.
Stevens comes down.
Yeah, so he's probably just going to end up bolting here. The good news is he can do it whenever he wants. You know, we've seen a few players get a little hasty about killing their creatures. The Artifacts deck doesn't have, like, it's not going to counter your spells. It's not going to play something that you didn't see coming. Ooh, Spell Pierce hits a cranial plating. That's huge.
That's a giant play right there. He gets it for his one anyway. Sends Lucas to 16.
That was devastating. Like, Jacob, that was a huge part of Jacob's game plan right there.
And there's the Shackles.
Wow, and the main deck Shackles comes down, and Jacob needs to do something pretty impressive pretty quickly here to really stem the tide. We were talking about before the match, Lucas, you know, his deck is actually like an aggro control or an aggro tempo type deck, but in this matchup it's not. He is the control fully, and it looks like he is fully aware of that.
Right.
All right, so he's sitting on a Mana Leak, I believe a Snapcaster, and a couple cards I couldn't see.
But not a fourth land.
Yeah, and even then, whatever, he's just going to, you know, anything that's scary that happens, he's just going to, wow, he's going to attack? That's interesting. Because he could have, he could have stolen it beforehand and just basically prevented that entire attack if he wanted. Right, so he's going to pay 3 mana, and he's going to Shrapnel Blast, and he's going to target Lucas. So, you know, that's going to happen anyway.
Right.
It's not the worst case scenario. I mean,
sends Lucas to 8.
It's a big chunk of damage. All right, so Lucas is sitting on 8. He did not draw another land, I don't think, and he's got like 3 Snapcasters and like a Mana Leak in his hand, something like that.
One card? Yeah.
Do we know if Jacob Maynard is related to Pascal Maynard?
We could find that out relatively quickly.
Okay, I'm just curious because I know that the Team Mana Deprived guys are here and Pascal's on that team, and I saw them kind of loitering around Jacob.
Red, Shrapnel Blast, starting you.
Another Shrapnel Blast?
That takes him to 3.
That takes him to 3, and that puts him in range of a whole lot of things like Galvanic Blast, another Shrapnel Blast, and a few other things. Steel Shaper's Gift is going to go grab Cranial Plating. It's the only target in the deck. See a Shrapnel Blast on the bottom there. That one wasn't coming, but it's going to get shuffled down.
And we'll pass turn you.
That is not a land. Now, it's a Cryptic Command, which would be fantastic here.
But he can't cast it.
Except for that he can't cast it. Is this like a really bad spot, actually?
Yeah.
Because it only costs 1 to equip the Cranial Plating, so he can just say equip it. If he steals that guy, well, then he can just block with it. Okay, right. So he's actually not in a horrible spot here. Needs to hit that extra land, though. All right, Inkmoth Nexus is a good plan B. The plating comes down. I mean, does he even? He doesn't even bother here, I guess, because this thing's just something's just going to get stolen. If he goes to attacks, doesn't matter. Lucas is tanked out here.
I'll leak it.
A mana leak
Worst case, I mean,
to tap him out. Okay, I guess he just wanted to use it anyway.
Drop.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you just want to steal a guy there. It's another Shackles? It's another Shackles, but still not that critical fourth land. He keeps drawing things. He needs a lightning bolt. Like if he just drew a lightning bolt, he can kind of go infinite here. So for now, there's a Blink Moth Nexus.
yeah.
So go to equip, and he must steal here.
Okay.
Steal this.
To the target.
All right, and this thing can block no matter
I'm
what
doing
gets
this
equipped here, so it's not a big deal.
I'm going to tap it for a
What?
black mana.
Does it? No, it doesn't go back.
Yeah.
No, and it's untapped. It's
Yeah.
untapped. Did he use it to tap with his Springleaf Drum?
Yeah.
Oh man, he tapped it for mana with his Springleaf Drum equipped, and that's going to be the game.
You got it.
Wow.
There we go. Tricky play from Jacob.
I like that play. I forgot about that. He could just tap it in response
Yep.
to tap it for mana.
Yeah, even if it's
Nothing he can
on,
do to interact
even
with
if it's on a dude he doesn't control, he still controls the equipment, which means he can.
No, so what he did is he said, all right, target this with my Vidalcan Shackles. And
Yep.
he said, in response, I'll make a mana with it with my Springleaf Drum.
Yep.
Go ahead, have your tapped Ornithopter.
Right.
I'll use that mana to equip my other
Right.
one. You're dead. Yeah,
Right.
so that was a pretty nice play. You can see the players have the deck list here, just
Yep.
like we do. And they're going to have to decide what they want to do. Now, I believe that post-board, I think that Lucas's options are a little bit
stronger.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
but not a ton. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't say that he's got a hammerlock. He has a few kind of silver bullets that can do a lot of work, but not
Well, I mean,
just like resolve a spell and now you can't ever win.
he wants the side out one Shackles, right? He
Yes,
doesn't
maybe
want to.
both.
He
Maybe both.
doesn't really want the two Shackles situation that he had right there.
Not at all. Like I said, the Shackles is good. It's just you'd never have the time to actually.
You'd rather steal something meatier with a Shackles than.
Yeah, because the strength comes from the cranial plating.
Right.
We saw
So-
that game until the cranial plating came down. Finally, he had 2 power on the board.
Yeah, it was just it plopped his hand down and it didn't have
it
much.
was 2 Ornithopters and 2 Vault Scourges. Like that doesn't do anything.
Right.
Now the first cranial plating got spell pierced,
Right.
but the second one resolved, and yeah, that was it.
So for sure, Croson Grip is coming in for Lucas.
Absolutely.
For sure, Ancient Grudge is coming in.
Absolutely.
For sure, Volcanic Fallout is coming
Yeah,
in.
no question. Negate is an option, although his mana leaks are almost just straight up counter spells.
Is Huntmaster trying to be a little too cute?
I don't know. Huntmaster, we saw Gerard Fabiano use it quite masterfully.
Yeah.
And I think it might actually deserve a slot. Now, the downside being that it costs full 4 mana. That's a lot of mana. But you resolve it, you gain a couple life, so you get a little bit of a cushion, and it gives you that opportunity to ship the turn back. It's always going to have a target against Jacob's deck. Always.
Sure.
Yep.
It's going to kill something every single time it turns into a Ravager of the Fells. So it might actually be worth it. Life gain combined with guaranteed kill might push that over the edge, especially if he just needs to take out stuff that just isn't good, you know? Lucas definitely has some cards that he doesn't want to be messing around with, you know, in the first game here. To deprive, those go. Like, there is
Right.
no way that you might even pull your mana leaks out because, like, you saw Jacob's deck does everything within the first 2 turns and he just essentially dumped his entire hand.
Sure.
Looks like boarding has happened.
Okay, so we're going to go to game 2. Marshall Sutcliffe is going to go to the emergency pretzel.
One does what one must. You want some?
Yeah, a little a little knob off of that.
Help yourself.
What kind of? Oh, this looks like a pretzel that has some stuff on it.
Just salt. Look, I got to be sharp for the finals, Rashad.
That's right. We need to carb up, get the energy into our brains, so we can talk about these things.
My brain does not work.
Ever?
Only after a pretzel.
And so pretzels are to you what spinach is to Popeye.
Yeah, they're like my brain spinach.
Look.
All right. So I think I give a slight edge to Lucas here, but you know, with the right draw, Jacob can just run him over.
Yeah, before he has a chance to do much.
Before he can even really get going. Oh, I already see like at least a couple of lightning bolts, but 2 islands. Does he have a fetch land? He kept, because it looks like Jacob's shuffling up here on a mulligan, so that means that Lucas must have kept.
Again, mulliganing is a little rough on the robot's deck because it needs numbers of permanents.
It does.
It's a swarm, a mass of things as opposed to a Tarmogoyf.
And exactly, and you know what can end up happening is he can get a lethal threat out pretty quickly, but it puts all the pressure on that threat, where if Lucas has an answer for it, Jacob just falls flat. I still only see the double islands from Lucas, and if I know he has a turn 1 Delver, which is really nice, but he's going to need to hit a red source if he doesn't have one already to play, I think, 2 bolts in his hand. 2 bolts are going to go a long way. Is that 3 bolts?
We're doing the head turn again.
I mean...
All right, so Jacob Maynard looking at his 6, doing some math. You can see his thumb moving there. He says he's counting.
And he's going to ship this one back.
He's sending it back. Going to 5. Going to 5 is really bad, especially, I mean, he can't see the bolts.
But
waiting.
I don't know if Lucas can cast those bolts right now. Lucas might be taking on a risk here and saying, look, so here's the thing about the deck. Any land that he gets, any fetch land can get red. If you get it untapped. He has, I can actually look at his here, but a lot of these decks, mine runs 3 steam vents, those make red. A stomping ground, that makes red. And then like a breeding pool, and that doesn't. It also runs a mountain. So he has like a ton of chances.
He's got 4 misty rainforests and an arid mesa that can go get that steam vents.
And he should have scalding tarns
and he does have a scalding tarn.
Yeah. And he does have the stomping ground. So he does have outs here to get it. And he might just have it. I just might not have seen it. He's got a couple of unknown cards for sure. So he says yes, and it is just a turn 1 Delver though. Is that a Misty Rainforest right there? If it is, then he's in really good shape. This, one of those, and he makes an 0-2.
Yep.
And he dumps every card in his hand except for 1. So Vault Scourge, Signal Pest, Ornithopter.
Go. There's the reveal.
And it does reveal, but I can't see what it is because it's just off camera there. That is a Serum Visions. And it is a Misty Rainforest in his hand. He has an absolutely excellent opener here.
And he's not going to care about the shock here.
Nope. No. He now knows he's in the driver's seat. He can just start attacking at will.
Right, that Ornithopter's not blocking him.
Nope. He can use the bolts to go to the face if he needs to, but he likely will... He'll probably have to take out the Signal Pest because that represents the most damage here.
I think his Serum Visions cards was another Delver.
Okay. Now he has a Stomping Ground, so he can't actually cast that. I see an Island and an Unknown spell. He is shipping 1 and keeping the other. I think he shipped the Island away. All right, attacking for 3. Blocks? No.
15. Go.
He's already played a land this turn. He says go. All right, so he's already got Jacob down to 15 here.
Yep.
All right, attack with everybody. Kill that. All right, so he only takes 1 this way.
Right.
And he also he prevents Jacob from gaining any life. And it's another one, and that's it. His hand's empty. That is all she wrote.
Yeah, Lucas has got to like the shape he's in this game.
He does. All right, is that a Snapcaster? It is a Snapcaster. Wow. Yeah, so he's in the driver's seat here. He can lightning bolt on his, and then on his turn, he can Snapcaster, lightning bolt. He can just keep Jacob off of anything relevant like forever.
Right. So even if Jacob draws cranial plating here.
Yeah, it's just a liability. Like, it just means a bunch of mana gets sunk. Activate. Sure. Go before attacks. I think you just let him attack, and I think you just kill the Inkmoth Nexus, or I don't know. You can kill Inkmoth or the Signal Pest. He might just even take it. He can bring him to 9, and then he can bring him to 6, and then he can bring him to 3. If he hits another red source, he can just kill him. Hit you. Red source? That is a spell snare. Not an ideal card to have here, but now he's almost dead. Hit you for 6. Bolt you.
Bolt you, Snapcaster.
But he doesn't have the.
What?
What happened there? He was at 12, I thought.
He was.
We must have had the life totals wrong because he did 3, 6, 9.
Oh, we were a little slow updating the life total, so yeah, I think we missed the 3 in there.
Okay,
so
good. So that actually brought him down, and then he was just able to finish it.
Right. Right. They didn't tick down the bolt at the end step. We went 12 to 9.
Okay.
All right. So we're on to game 3. That means all this 1,042 players.
This is it. No pressure, boys.
15 Swiss rounds. Top 8. Just before 7:20 local time, the Eastern time zone of the United States of America, here in Columbus, Ohio. 1 game left.
Is Port's a bad matchup?
Since we got no hurricanes. We can't go to game 4 here.
Okay.
That's a big one. Yeah, it's like, I guess
all right. These guys got to be pretty tense at this moment. This is, I'm assuming both of their first times in the finals of a GP. I haven't seen Lucas Siow in a finals of one. Maybe he has. I don't know.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
It affects 2 cards in my deck, so not as bad.
This is a big one.
So not only would Rich Hagon transform all those Delvers, he'd know if Lucas Siow was.
He would know how many lifetime pro points he had.
I'll be on the
All
board.
right. I heard from Twitter, by the way, that Jason is not related to Pascal Maynard, but Lucas Siow is on Team Canada for the World Magic Cup, apparently.
Oh. So
another thing that Rich would have known.
Not his first time in a big spotlight.
No. He must have won one of the World Magic Cup qualifiers. Okay.
Rashad Miller is confirming that.
You're being corrected. We can have a great game 4 because volcanic fallout.
Oh yeah, that's
Chris
right.
Lansdale
That's right.
reminds us, so.
That's right. We can have a game 4.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris Lansdale.
Yeah, he level 2 judge from Newfoundland.
What are they saying? What
Also
are
a
they
fellow
saying?
podcaster.
You don't have to chat?
Fewer judging opportunities in Newfoundland than one might hope for, I would imagine.
I mean, like the G, not,
So
not
big tribute to Chris that he's
coverage guys, the
actually
actual
gotten a level 2.
Pretty sure he's level 2.
I'd have affinities in the finals.
I actually had
Never
the power to
happy
look that up.
about
But we're going to the finals of a Grand Prix.
We are indeed.
There's at least 1 fetch land for Lucas and an island, so that's
I also see a Serum Visions.
that's a keep.
I believe so. Right. Just play a Streamleaf Drum. That is fantastic. Lucas is very happy to see that. And there's the Fallout that we were just talking about. Oh, I guess he doesn't have a Serum Vision because he just said, oh, maybe he's going to play Spell Pierce in case he'd rather just leave Spell Pierce up. Oh, he's got a Spell Pierce. Yeah, that was it. All right, so he Spell Pierced the Mox Opal, and he's got another one. See, and it's kind of the bummer because stranding a Mox Opal in his hand is pretty sweet. But he couldn't there. Tap 3, and he's got an S champion, and it is currently metal crafted. So this could create pretty significant issues. Now, The fallout will work though, right? That's what we determined, that volcanic fallout, the damage from fallout
will be prevented.
Oh, it will be prevented.
Right,
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he can steal him with shackles, but so Blink Moth Nexus gets activated and in with the Etch champion.
Okay, this is a good start from Jacob's end of the table here, and he's even got a Steel Overseer to back it up. This is exactly what he wants to do here. Now, does Lucas have a mana leak? Probably took him out.
Got a Serum Visions in his hand, I see.
Although, why didn't he use that before? So he must have something that he wants to do here.
Fetch.
He's
Fetch.
wary about taking the damage, but he needs his colors.
Right, fetch.
I guess not.
Tapped. Oh.
That Overseer is going to present an issue, although
16.
he does have, I believe, a Lightning Bolt. I wonder if you just take the 2 and use your Bolt here. Now,
No,
wait a
it's not
minute. So how does it work if he fallouts here, but then there's Metalcraft is then taken away after? Is the damage prevented
The
first?
damage is already prevented. Yeah.
Okay, so he will still have
Go.
the Etch champion hanging around, but it'll be vulnerable.
Right, because the other things aren't going to go away until state-based actions are checked.
Do you see what's happening here? All
Yeah,
right, so
he's about to get blown out.
He is about to get blown out. Pretty good, although. Okay, now with that on the stack, what? He's letting him get the dice? No. Hey, wait a second.
Yeah, I think. Like, go back, son.
Oh. All right, that dies, that dies, that dies. But the counter will still go on the Etch champion.
Right.
What is this? Oh, Shrapnel Blast, and just hit you.
Yep.
And you know, the Volcanic Fallout's also going to do 2 to Lucas.
Right. It's going to drop him all the way down to 7. Plus,
I don't know if they had gotten the Volcanic on there yet or not.
The counter.
And the Etch champion should have a +1/+1 counter on it.
You're
still Shaper.
There
yep.
we go.
There, Lucas.
Oh, okay.
Sportsmanlike, reach it across.
So you're at 6. Yep.
That was a nice play. That is one of the plays. Okay, so he is at 6 because he took the 2 from the Fallout plus the extra 1 from the champion, and he is in a tough spot here. He's going to need to find something to get in the way of that champion very quickly.
Yeah, he's got 2 turns.
And really, I mean, he needs to find like a grudge.
Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, so the Springleaf Drum and the Darksteel Citadel both do it. He can take him off of it. Oh, and also the Mox Opal. I mean, he needs to find an Ancient Grudge and then some. Is this a plating? No, it's a Vault Scourge.
Yep.
All right, Vault
There's 3.
Scourge and attack you for 3.
All right, so Lucas Siow.
So Jacob is on the verge of winning this Grand Prix. If Lucas can't find something to deal with that champion, and there's not a lot that does.
Yeah, he's really got to pull him off of Metalcraft and then deal with the champion.
Yep, and he can't shackles. He can't shackles and equip. I think he's just looking over his last options, but I think that Jacob Maynard is poised to win this Grand Prix here. See Ben Schwartz there taking a look. That is the Ancient Grudge. I think it's too late. He can only take out 2 artifacts, and since the S champion counts itself, he'll still have 2 or 3, which enables Metalcraft and makes it so that Lucas can't block. Now, he just doesn't quite have enough mana to take care of it. Now, he does have a Lightning Bolt, though.
Got it.
All right, so he's digging. I don't know what he's going for. Corrosion Grip.
He just needs, but he needs, man, it's 3 mana.
Either. Yeah.
That costs 3 mana. Looks pretty good for Jacob Maynard.
I mean, he had Grudge Flashback Lightning Bolt. So Grudge the Springleaf Drum, flash it back on the Mox Opal, Lightning Bolt the Vault Scourge. But then I think that can't Jacob just activate his Inkmoth Nexus on his turn that gives it protection and then kill him? So close.
Yeah, Lucas is going through it right now.
He's making sure. You know, you never want to be hasty and look back and say, oh my,
there's the hand.
And there's the handshake, and Jacob Maynard is our champion.
Okay.
He gets a big hug from his buddy there. Look at that.
So Jacob Jacob on the verge of getting eliminated in
Yeah.
the last round of Swiss,
Yes.
pulls out a crazy win, and then
And runs the
through,
table here.
and then runs the table on the top. That's super.
And we had a very, it's interesting, we have a really aggressive deck that wins here.
Yeah, and